Welcome back to yet another tutorial for function in Python. Let's see how we can define a function and how we can execute it, how we can call, pass some values, they are known as parameters, and arguments in a function. We will see how the body of the function can be executed, what is there which is not executed if it is not included in the body. So what is the um, parameters, how we can pass them, if we can pass more than one parameter, we'll all see in this tutorial. So let's get started. So if I have just written this line over here, and if I save it, it will print this line, right? But then if I want to define a function, I'll just start with the keyword def, and then I will write that function greet with the name of the function and the parentheses. These brackets are known as parentheses, the opening and closing brackets. And then after writing the name of the function, which is greet, you just put the colon. So this is how you define the function. Def stands for define. Then you'll press enter. You can see that the cursor has come after 4 spaces. This is the indentation of the Python function. You should not disturb this indentation, otherwise it will give you the error. Now whatever you will write over here from this line onwards, it's going to be the body of this loop. Just added the docstring, as I told you in the previous video. The docstring will help you to tell you something about the function. Okay, and so this function is without the parameters. As you can see, there are no arguments, no values inside the parentheses. So you can call this function is without the argument or parameters and the values. So in this function, I have got 2 lines. These make up the body of the function greet. The very first line is this is the greet function, and the second line is hello good morning. And this print line is not the body of this function because this is not following the indentation. So this is out of the function. This line will be printed if I'll just run this program. But if I run this, if I'll call this function, this line is not going to be printed. So let's see how does this work. So as per this code, you can see over here, it has printed the very first line. Okay, then it has printed this line. Why it has not printed these 2 lines, which is the body of the function? Because I have not called the function yet. So if I'll call this function, I have to write greet and then the parentheses, and this is how it is going to print these 2 lines. This time you can see that this line and this line is not printed because they are not the part of this function greet. Okay, so I hope you understood how this function can be executed, and how the part of the body can be printed which are not the part of the body of the function. So this function was without the parameter. Now let's see how we can pass a value, a parameter or argument in a function. So the next function, I'm just going to use the same function, but over here I'm going to use the username. The user will enter his or her name, and then this function, greet function, is going to use the name of that user and print it within the message. So how we can do that? Either I can create a new file or I can add the code over here. It doesn't make any difference. So this is the beauty of this function, that you can write multiple functions in the same file. So I have created a function greet1, which is accepting an argument or a parameter, which is name. So user will enter a name over here, and the print message, if you want to use that parameter or the argument, the value which user has given you, you have to use it with a plus. It should be followed and preceded by the plus sign. So if I save and run, how we can run this now, because I have got 2 functions here, greet and greet1. So if I want to run this function, what I have to do is I simply write greet1, and suppose if I just write the parentheses, what will happen? It will give me the error message because it is telling me that greet1 missing one required position argument name. So it is reminding me that I have not entered the value over here, the argument over here. So I have just used greet. It should be greet one. So this is how it will print the message with the username. And I have passed a value over here. As per the function, greet1 is accepting the value argument or parameter, and this argument or parameter is used within the function. So this is the function with the parameter. Can we pass more than one parameter in a function? Yes, we can pass. Now before I'll start with one of the function where I have the numeric parameter, numeric value, and this function is going to double the amount whatever the user will enter. So if you are entering thousands of dollars, it's going to be $2,000. If you are going to add thousands of rupees, it's going to be 2,000 rupees, and so on. So I have defined a function def. This is the name of the function, double amount, AMT amount, and I am passing a number over here. The user has to enter any amount over here, then followed by colon. Then I have created a variable amount which is going to store or double the number whatever the user has entered. And then I have to use the return statement to give this value back to the user. So if I save and run this, now the name of the function is double amount. Suppose if I enter 1000, is also correct. It will has given me this double the amount whatever is being entered. So this with the numeric value. Now I'm going to add two numbers so that I can show you that we can have multiple parameters and multiple arguments. So again I'm defining a function which is going to add two numbers. So the name of the function is addNum, and I'm going to pass two parameters n1 and n2 followed by colon. Now I will create a variable which will add these, which will store the sum of these two numbers, n1 plus n2, and then I have to return sum1. So just try to understand. I have taken two parameters, two arguments. I have passed into this function. Then I'm adding them and storing the result in another variable sum1, and I'm returning that. So if I save and run this, the name of the function is addNum. Then you have to pass two values, let's say 55 and 78. So you can see it has given the sum of these two numbers. This is how we can have multiple arguments, multiple parameters in a function. Then we can have the function without the parameter as well, and with the parameters too. This was the string and this is the numeric value. So functions are useful. See, you just create all the function in one file and then you can use them multiple number of time. I can run the function any number of time. It can be reused. So this is the beauty of the function in any programming language. I hope you like this video. If you like it, just give it a thumbs up. Do share, like, subscribe, and keep sharing.